something to think about is, that super annoying noise that goes off at times in the middle of the night, your smoke alarm, and how it will go off, and we have an opportunity right there to either fix the smoke alarm, to take the smoke alarm and replace the battery in the smoke alarm, and then the other one goes off, and the other one, and it's just like But sometimes what we do with that smoke alarm, whenever it goes off, we tear it down and we put it somewhere, maybe outside, so that you can't hear it anymore. And then what do? We like, where's the smoke alarm? You look up, and it's there's a space in your on your ceiling or on your wall that the smoke alarm should go, because we took the easy way out instead of the hard way of just going to get a battery, replace it, versus just in our anger, in our irritation, we take it and we pull it down. And if you've done that before, let me know in the comments, because I feel like we have all done that. And the same is true with our mental health. The same is true whenever we just try to take the easy way out instead of really doing our work. And so when we look at 1 Peter 5:6-10, when it says to humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that he may exalt you at the proper time, casting all your cares on him because he cares about you. A lot of times we go to the Hobby Lobby part of that verse, which is cast all your cares on him because he cares about you, which is a good verse. But look at the comma before casting. There's a comma in verse 6 that leads into casting. Whenever you are going through something and someone is telling you, or you feel like, man, I have cast my cares, I've done everything that I can do, and it's not working. I totally understand that, and that makes sense. And so what I would love for you to do is look at this verse in a whole, 1 Peter 5:6-10, all of it. Because in verse 6, before the comma, before the Hobby Lobby verse of cast all your cares on him because he cares about you, it says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that he may exalt you at the proper time. And when you hear the word humility, you hear the word humble yourself, people can look at that and think like, well, it's just about being humble. Well, really, here's what it's about. Back to the smoke detector. The smoke detector, when it goes off, it's telling you that there is a problem, especially if it goes off when there is a fire. It's like, hey, there's a fire. You need to do something about it. Fix the, get out of the house. But when the smoke detector goes off and it's telling you it needs a new battery, we have got to humble ourselves and we've got to do something about it. The same is true with our emotional health, is that when the alarm is going off in your life, when the alarm of anxiety, when the alarm of depression, when the alarm of sadness, when the alarm of isolation is going off, what are we going to do? You're just going to all of a sudden cast your cares on the Lord. I know that sounds good. I know that's like what we want to do, and that is a good thing. But I think also we've got to cast our cares, and we need to get help. We need to get help. And that's the humility part. That's the humbling yourself, realizing that, man, you might need to pause. You might need to take a second so that you can actually hear what God is going to say to you. And so how can you humble yourself today? How can you do that? Maybe for you, it's reaching out to a friend. Maybe for you, it's pausing and stop doing the same thing the same way because the alarm is going off. You continue to rage out. You continue to do things that you don't want to do whenever you are in this certain state, and you're trying to cast your cares. You're going to church. You're doing the devotional. You're doing all the stuff, but for some reason, it's not changing what's happening in your life. And again, I get it. I've been there. But today, I want you to humble yourself. I want you to take time for yourself today. I mean, I say this with, I'm not with passion. I say this with like, seriously, how are you doing? Is the alarm going off in your life, and you keep praying, you keep doing all this stuff, and for some reason it's not working? Well, it's time for you to talk to somebody. Because the more that you keep it in and you act like everything is going on and that you're perfect and things are wonderful, and you go out in town and like, hey, how you doing? I'm good, everything's great, la, 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 la. And then all of a sudden everybody thinks you're good. No one really knows how you're really doing, because the world wants everybody to be happy and great and wonderful. Whenever somebody asks you if you're good and you just say, man, I'm not good, People don't know what to do with that. Like, well, I'll be praying for you. And they walk off and they didn't pray for you. Maybe they did. I have no idea. How are you doing? Really, how are you doing? The reason I ask that question, the reason that I am very um, serious about that question right now is because this week has been one of the hardest weeks I've had as a coach. Because there is a friend who I asked how he's doing, and he wasn't doing well, but he told me he was doing well. And he's hurting pretty bad. And so right now, how are you doing? How are you doing? Well, I'm doing okay. Or you're doing awful. Man, if you're not doing good, if you're really struggling and the alarm is going off in your life and you've tried to cover it up, you've tried to replace the battery, you've tried to do all these things, I want you to reach out to me. Do not do it alone any longer, because I'm telling you, tomorrow needs you. Tomorrow needs you. No matter what you're going through, I would love to help you take the next steps in your life. I am so tired of hearing how people are struggling so bad alone, and they just get straight into drugs. They get straight into harming other people and themselves, all because they weren't willing to take care of themselves and invest in something that really matters, which is your emotional and mental health. I want to meet with you. I want to help you. Well, what is that? What's the investment? Man, I just reach out to me and we can talk about that, because you're so willing to invest in things that don't matter, like the drink that you're drinking right now, or like the food that you just went and bought. I mean, what's your bill of the food delivery service that brings the food to your house every single week? What's that bill cost you? $200? What's the bill cost you of you going out and drinking and doing all the stuff, or what's the bill cost you of the different porn sites that you have subscribed to just to help make you feel better in a moment? What is that costing you? What's that cost you? But we're not willing to pay for things that are going to help us. We're not going to invest in things that really matter. We'll invest in properties. We'll invest in the lottery. We'll invest in stocks. We'll invest in so many things, but we're not willing to invest in our mental health and go to therapy, get a life coach. We're not willing to invest to get into communities, and I'm telling you, that's a problem. We're willing to invest our time scrolling on social media endlessly and mindlessly, and we wonder why we are so depressed and we are so sad. How about this? You invest in getting help for yourself so that you can live more free. And I want to be here for you.